Om. Om. Sahana Bhavatu. Sahana Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadi Tamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We looked at the devastating effect of justification. And if you can understand that, you can literally save your life. Perhaps you can save others as well. If you're able to identify when you're getting into that frame of mind. As I cautioned in the last class, it's not easy to detect it because your intellect is completely captured by the mind. So what is it that is giving you an awareness in life? The moment you use the word awareness, awareness comes from the intellect. So if the intellect is completely captured by the mind, there's no awareness. And that's why the poem is scary. I mean, it's giving a scary message to be cautious. So a solution is to surrender at all times. So when you surrender at all times, there is a possibility that you will be approached by the Guru. See, when you surrender, you almost give the license to the Guru to correct you. You understand? See, like a child is with the parents. The parents correct the child whenever necessary. The child surrenders to the parents until the child's intellect has come. From the time the child is born to the time it is 11 or 12, it has no intellect to think on its own, to decide on its own. So the parents, they decide for the child. So it's a surrender. The child is surrendered to the parents. Exactly in the same way, when you surrender to the Guru almost approaches you to tell you where you're going wrong. Because when you're justifying, you don't know where you're going. So one is to approach the Guru to seek advice and guidance. But when you're justifying, you're not in any position to approach the Guru. So the Guru approaches you and tells you, hey, you're going wrong here. But that permission should be given by the student. Because the Guru will not point it out unless prior permission is given. See, that's why when you enter the website, it says accept cookies. You understand? Once you accept the cookies, and then you keep on browsing page after page, it's understood. You've accepted it once. Similarly, when you surrender, the Guru understands. When you first surrender, it's fine. Afterwards, he takes the privilege to point out to you when you're going wrong. Otherwise, how else are you going to save yourself when your mind justifies? It's very difficult. And then when your intellect grows fully, then you will be able to handle your mind. But until then, you need to take assistance. You need to take guidance. What I mean is until self-realization. You understand? So once you're self-realized, then you're independent. You're on your own. But until self-realization, what are you going to do? So that's the message in that poem by Jane Taylor. The next topic is the herd instinct. How to define herd instinct? Herd instinct means an impulse or an instinct of the mind to follow others' action without thought or reason. See, suppose you're following what others are doing, that doesn't mean it's a herd instinct. But are you following it with some thought or reason backing it or not? In other words, if you blindly follow it, then it's herd instinct. A blind following, mechanically following what others are doing it without thinking about it. You find comfort in numbers. Because others are doing it, therefore I also do it. You find comfort in numbers. You find comfort in majority. Mark Twain had remarked, if you find yourself on the side of majority, it is time to pause and think. If you find yourself on the side of majority, according to Mark Twain, he says, it's time to pause and think, am I going the right direction or not? So in other words, just because others are doing it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Because others are doing it doesn't also mean it's wrong. You've got to give it a thought. I remember when I was in the Merchant Navy, I was on the bridge and I was steering the ship. The captain had left me. I was a trainee at the time. But since I had a bit of experience on that ship, the captain had left me to drive the ship. And then he had gone down. He said, listen, I'll just come back in 5 minutes. He just gone down and he came back. So I was guiding the ship and there was a crew there and I was telling the crew to steer the ship. And then the captain was looking around the radar and all that. And after 5 minutes, he came and asked, where are you going? I said, sir, I'm following that ship. Oh, how do you know that ship is going correctly? So I was following that ship in front of me. And ship was going. His point was, how do you know that ship is going correctly? I said, you're right. I'm sorry. So I quickly went and I checked the actual position, the bearings, this, that. So it's almost like that. You're doing it, but others are doing it. How do you know that person is doing it correctly? So that day I learned it. I said, listen, never again I'll do that mistake. When I kept on checking exactly where we are. So mechanically, see, for example, you're born into a certain country, you develop an accent. You understand? You have a British accent, you have a Scottish accent, a Welsh accent. It's automatic. You don't give it a thought. You don't consciously think, oh, from today onwards, I'm going to develop British accent. You don't think like that. It's automatic. You're born, you develop that. Similarly, you adopt a certain fashion. Some people you see all the time they wear black. Anytime, wherever they go, uh, it's like permanent funeral. You understand? Every time they wear black, anywhere you go. So they adopted a fashion. They just go about it mechanically. They're not giving it any thought. This mind likes something, they're just going along with it. Family, they follow a football team. They follow that. Why are you following it? When my father followed, my grandfather followed, therefore I also follow. You follow Chelsea, you follow Everton, you follow Manchester United. And mechanically you follow because others have been following. So herd instinct is an instinct or impulse of the mind which makes you follow others without any reason or thought backing it. You don't question, you don't reason. What is the cause of herd instinct? Don't say comfort in numbers. I've already said that. So, what is the cause of herd instinct?
Lack of courage.
Lack of courage,
Wanting to blend.
wanting to blend. That's what.
Correct.
Comfort,
Conviction, lack of conviction.
lack of conviction,
Easy option.
easy option,
Lack of intellect.
of intellect. See, that is generalization. Simply you're saying,
Taken things for granted.
huh?
Taken
Take
things for granted.
granted. Okay.
To be accepted by others.
They want to be accepted by others. Correct. All of you are correct. See that. So the cause of herd instinct is a desire to belong, a desire to fit in. It's a strong desire. You want to fit in, you want to belong. So when you go into a group, you just follow that. You don't want to question because you want to belong there. Because the moment you start questioning, then they may say, listen, why don't you leave if you're not happy with it? So you're scared of questioning because you want to fit in with that group. You want to belong there. Also, to think, to question requires effort. There's an effort required to think. The tendency of the mind is to resist any effort. Any effort, you want to resist it. So nobody wants to take that extra step to put in that effort. See, what is interesting is when you want to belong or you want to fit in, you want to impress others in that group. You got to ask yourself, whom are you trying to impress? See, people wear certain type of clothing. You understand? In order to fit in. Now, why I'm saying that is because, I remember I had to give a talk in the city, and I took the tube to go. I think it was not the city, sorry, in Canary Wharf, in JP Morgan. So I took the tube, and I went to JP Morgan office. And the office, actually, the tube goes directly into the thing. Nicely, that office is done. So I was wearing my uniform, whatever my uniform is, my kurta, my dhoti, all that thing. So I was going on the tube. So everybody's looking at me. Who's this guy? So the odd man out. So you want to impress others. You want to fit in. You wear a certain type of clothing. The interesting part is, whom are you trying to impress? You think about it carefully. When a person gets impressed by what you wear, by your outward appearance, it only means that person has no value for what you are internally. See, a person who is interested in you internally is not interested in you externally. So someone who has a value for your mind and intellect, for your feelings and thinking, he doesn't care what you wear, how you appear externally. So in other words, you're attracting people who have no values. By putting on a certain outfit, you're only attracting people who have no values. People who have values are not attracted by external things. So all that effort people put in to attract people who have no values, is it worth it? You got to ask yourself. So cause of herd instinct is that weakness in humans, value for others' opinions. See, somebody said lack of conviction, lack of intellect. Both mean the same thing. Conviction is a product of the intellect. So once your intellect develops, then you're not swayed by the weakness of the mind. So what you need to ask yourself is, okay, I'm following this person, I'm following this direction. Where is this going to lead me to? That's the question you need to ask. So where is this going to take me to? And is that the direction I want to take? Is that the destination I want to reach? So the moment you start questioning, then you're not part of the herd. Henry Ford had remarked, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. So if you want to change your life, you need to change your actions. You have to change your attitude, change your thinking. See, slavery was prevalent in the world at some point in history. So mechanically, they were following that. Even recently, they banned fox hunting in England. Fox hunting about 20, 25 years back, it was there. 10 or 15 years back, I think they banned it. So you don't have to wait for government to ban it. You decide it. Is this right? Is this wrong? What is it I want to do? So you look into your attitudes more than the action. See, to change the herd instinct, find out what your attitudes are in life. See, for example, many people have this attitude that they need to experience everything in life. It's not true. It's not necessary to experience everything in life. In fact, you learn through knowledge, not through experience. Even when you learn from experience, you can learn from experience only when you have knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you mechanically keep going through the experience, you'll never learn. The Romanian proverb, fools learn through their own experience, wise through others. Fools learn through their own experience. It's painful to learn through your own experience. Say 25 years, you're a drug addict. And after 25 years, you learn, oh, drugs are wrong. Drugs are terrible. You shouldn't get into drugs. It's so painful. Go into drugs, come out of it and learn drugs are bad for you. If you are wise, if you have an intellect, you will not need to go through drugs. Without going through drugs, you realize it's wrong. Similarly, attachment is detrimental. You don't have to go through attachment to learn that. Through knowledge, you can learn it. So through knowledge, it's a much more graceful way of education. So graceful way of learning life is through knowledge. If not, learn through others' experience. If not, you have to go through experience, suffer, and then learn. So these are the attitudes. You've got to question the basic attitudes in life. Some people believe, oh, I've got to get married, I've got to have children. Is it true? Why should I do that? Should I do that or not? Question it. Think. You're not saying do it or don't do it. Give it a thought. See, interesting is even the attitude towards failure. You're so anxious about success. You're craving for success all the time. When failure comes, you're shattered completely. But what is wrong with failure? You can learn from failure as well. Failure also teaches you. And that's what Winston Churchill had remarked. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. So it's an attitude which has to be set right. So one of the examples of herd instinct is the institution of marriage. So should I get married or not? So if a person wants to know that, how should that person approach it? Probably it's too late for many of us here. So at least people who switched on the videos, people who have not switched on the videos, probably maybe one or two have switched on the videos. I am not sure. Because you all don't put your marital status, only you put your names. So how should you approach it? How should you think about it? 6 reasons for marriage. So before, you can of course share it with your brothers or sister who are younger than you, or share it with your children. So how to decide whether to get married or not? It's not just a mechanical thing. Everybody's getting married, I should also get married. It's not necessary. Sometimes marriage is not conducive for some people. Sometimes marriage is conducive. At least I can think of 2 people who have told me, I wish I hadn't got married. They're married now, they have children, but personally they've come and told me, I shouldn't have got into it. Because they realized it much later. After coming into Vedanta, they realized it. Similarly, having children, actually children, I would say at least 15 people have told me. Quite a lot of people have said, I don't think I should have got into children. I shouldn't have had children. They are very happy. They have children. They're very happy with the children. Nothing wrong. But they feel it's not necessary. I shouldn't have had it. So it's not one size fits all. So you need to find out what your nature is. So the 6 reasons are, first is progeny. I'll first state the 6 reasons and then I'll explain it. Progeny, possessiveness, companionship, sex, security, protection. Progeny, possessiveness, companionship, sex, security, protection. Progeny means children. So you want your family tree to grow. See, many people want to find out, who their ancestors are. You go and find out. It's such a risky thing to do. You find out your ancestor was a murderer. You understand? After that, you have to carry that guilt all rest of your life. My ancestor was a murderer. Why do you want to find out all those things? Unnecessarily, you want to get into these things. So, similarly, you want your family tree to grow. Children, then children have to, the Patel name has to be maintained. Shah name has to be maintained. You understand? As if you are some Kennedy or Rockefeller, So I want my family line to be maintained, family tree to grow. See, that's why many of the cultures, they prefer sons over daughters, for this reason. The sons means they'll give birth, daughters, they go to the other family. It is a weakness that can be overcome. It's not necessary that you need to have children. It's not necessary. A person who is too emotional needs to have children. If you're not emotional, you don't need to have. So the intellect can neutralize that need to have a child. See, loving children doesn't mean you need to have children. You can love children, but the emotional need to actually possess a child, to say this is my child, is different. So unless you have that, not necessary to go for it. Second reason is possessiveness. Possessiveness is that feeling you want to own it. This is my husband, my wife, my child. Like he says, this is my home, my car. Interestingly, possessiveness causes insecurity. But possessiveness is a cause for marriage. But if you're not careful, possessiveness can break the marriage as well. So, whatever is close to you, you love it more. Sometimes, you go to people's homes. Usually they call me to their house for a meal. I go to the house and I'm sat there on the dining table. And then on the fridge, some scratches are there, something, all the thing is, doodle is there. So I asked them, what is that? It's a lovely fridge they have. What is that thing? Oh, no. It's my child's drawing. Their child has scribbled something. Huh? They take that and put that on the fridge with a magnet. Stupid thing, as if he's some Picasso or something. Something is scribbled. Oh, my son has done it. Son is. So that possessiveness looks so ugly. That lovely fridge is there. You can't tell them that. Don't tell them that. I'm only saying that attachment. So as I said, the law is attach, you lose, detach, you gain. If you're possessive, you feel insecure in the relationship. If you're attached to your partner, you'll feel insecure. Your partner talks to somebody, partner messages somebody, you feel agitated because of attachment. Extreme attachment is given in the example of a painter called Andre del Sarto. It's a poem by Robert Browning. Robert Browning writes this poem about this famous painter called Andre del Sarto, and how Andre del Sarto was infatuated to his wife Lucrezia. If you read that poem, you'll want to go and throw up. You understand? Because right through the poem, he keeps saying, Lucretia, Lucretia, look at me, Lucretia. Oh, you're looking that side. No, no, look at me. Come and sit next to me. By the second verse, you just want to go and throw up. So, this attachment, sickening attachment. He was one of the greatest painters. He was regarded by Michelangelo and Raphael, that level of painters. They regarded him as superior. The Michelangelo and Raphael, they said that he is superior to us. But we don't know him because of this infatuation. So the French king had commissioned some paintings and had given him money, a good amount of money. So he took that money, built a house for his wife, and squandered all that money. So the French king was after his life. So he was in hiding in the house. And he used to say, Lucretia, 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 whole time. He lost his talent. He lost his money. He lost her. Because finally, what did she do? She went with somebody else. She had a lover. Lucretia wasn't interested in him. So you lose the object of your attachment. You suffer and you lose the object of your attachment. I've seen fathers not talking to their sons, sons not talking to the fathers. Again, one of the houses I went, the father is talking to the mother. What is that fellow doing? Then mother asks the son, hey, what are you doing? Son is telling the mother, tell that old man not to interfere in my life. Mother is telling the husband, don't interfere in his life. So she's in between. They don't talk directly. The father and son don't talk directly. But the father is extremely attached to this. In fact, that is the cause. Why he's not able to talk is because of extreme attachment. So when you're attached, you have expectation. And when the person doesn't cater to your expectation, you get angry. So when you're detached, you will have fun in the relationship. There'll be joy in the relationship. Because there's no expectation. For example, when you're with friends, don't you enjoy your time with friends? Why? Because you're not attached. So when you're not attached, it is enjoyable. So possessiveness is a cause, but if you're not careful, it can break the relationship, it can break the marriage. Third is companionship, which is lack of self-sufficiency. The need for companionship. So you want to watch a film. You tell your partner, come sit with me, let's watch a film. And you want to watch a film, you watch a film. No, you also have to sit with me. Come and sit with me, let's watch the film together. I'm not interested in that film. So you want somebody to sit next to you. You understand? See, suppose you're driving a car, you got an expensive car you're driving. You want somebody in the passenger seat. Come and sit. Let's go for a drive. Let's go for a thing. So that need for companionship. And if you don't get it with humans, then you go to pets. If you don't get it with pets, you go to plants. Because pets and plants, they don't ask too many questions. Humans, they will demand, With pets, the demands are less. Plants, the demands are even less. Pets, at least they will scream if you don't give it food. Plants don't even scream. Some people write a will, to their pets, millions. And nowadays it pays well to be born as a pet. But be careful, don't develop this desire. Next lifetime you'll be born then. Understand? Unnecessarily you develop a desire in this lifetime, next lifetime you'll be born. Poodle or something you'll be born. So the desire for companionship. So if you develop that self-sufficiency, then you're all right. If somebody is there, you enjoy that. If they're not there, you enjoy your time. You understand? You're not dependent. So these are powerful desires, desire for progeny, for children, desire for possessiveness, desire for companionship. The fourth is a natural desire, a desire for sex. The sexual instinct is a natural instinct. Some people have it more, some people have it less. So this is something you've got to analyze. So there are 4 categories when it comes to sexual need. A person could be impotent, where there is no sexual urge. Even if the person is in front of you, an attractive person is in front of you, you're not attracted because you're impotent. So an impotent person doesn't need marriage for that reason. Second type is a passive urge, where you're not attracted until the object is there. The object is not there, you're all right. If the object is there, then you're attracted. Then the third category is active. Active category is there is a pull even when the person is not around. Even when the object is not there, there's a pull. So a passive person can get away with it. He may not need a sexual contact. Active person definitely needs. And fourth is promiscuous. A person who's promiscuous is one who's got a extremely strong demand. Is not satisfied with one partner, may want multiple partners. So a promiscuous person again shouldn't choose marriage because it is not fair on the other partner. So impotent and promiscuous category shouldn't get into marriage, but passive and active should. So fifth is protection. So the institution of marriage protects your mind from attraction towards others. You understand? So you get when you get attracted to others, what do? You look at your wedding ring. Let me be quiet. You understand? Let me behave myself. So it's a reminder. So when the mind strays, and the natural tendency for the mind to stray, so it reminds you to get back on track. So that way you can discipline the mind. In the olden days, they had the tradition, the Swamis, the spiritual people had the tradition of ochre robes. Say Shankara, when he was age of 8, he wore the ochre robe. So the significance of that is to announce to others don't disturb me. You understand? I'm interested in spiritual development. Don't disturb me. So he shaved his hair. He got a certain robe he wore. So it's a protection. So for the spiritual person, it's a protection. Sixth is security. A partner gives you a security. Even to fix certain things, repair certain things. Partner is there, they'll do that. But that on its own, security is not a reason. It may be cheaper to install a burglar alarm. It may be cheaper to call a handyman. That will be cheap. For that, you don't have to get married, only for that reason. So out of these 6 reasons, at least 3 you should have to justify marriage. The first 4 are the most important. Progeny, possessiveness, companionship, and sex. First 4. Out of the first 4, at least 3, if you have it, then it demands that you get married. If you don't have it, 1 or 2, you can get away with it. Say a person who is designed for marriage, if he doesn't get married, it's frustrating. And vice versa. Person who is designed to be single, if he gets married, it's frustrating. So you got to analyze your nature and find out what's right. So that's the 3rd chapter. Then the 4th chapter is what is it? We are animals and this is how animals behave. Who is this? Jiten. Oh, I don't understand what that. Oh, must be herd instinct. Okay. Yes, herd instinct. Okay. We are not animals. We are different from animals. If you want to be an animal, we'll put you in a kennel. You understand? Humans are different from animals. Because humans have an intellect, animals don't have intellect. Jigna's thing is, does marriage also include a long-term partner? Usually, we are talking about a long-term partner because when you get married, we are talking about you decide to have this partner for life. So it's a long-term partner we're talking. In fact, short-term partners, you don't need to look into so many things. It's only for long-term partners you need to look. If you want short-term satisfaction, you don't have to look into all these things. So as we can see, the whole focus here is to control the mind. Anything you want to achieve in life, you need to control the mind. So this 4th chapter is a very crucial chapter because this chapter we're going to learn what are the natures of the mind. So when you say mind, what does this mind consist of? What is it the mind is capable of doing? What are the different natures? So the different natures of the mind is, firstly, the mind has likes and dislikes. And if you're not careful, these likes and dislikes can cause destruction in your life. Number 2, worry and anxiety. Number 3, mind is infested with desires. Number 4, attachment. And number 5, acquisition and enjoyment. We'll take it up one by one. I'm just listing it so you get an idea of what is it we're going to discuss. So anyone who has a mind has all these impulses. As I already defined earlier, the awareness is brought about by the intellect. So the first step is awareness, second step is control. Awareness followed by control. So you need to be aware of what your mind is capable of. And once you're aware, then you will be able to control it. If you're not even aware, what can you control? The theory test, driving test. I remember one of the things we had to learn was thinking distance and stopping distance. You understand? If the vehicle is going at 70 miles per hour, what is the thinking distance? What is the stopping distance? 60 miles per hour, what is the thinking distance? So like that. The first is thinking distance and then stopping distance. Similarly, first is awareness. When you're aware, then you know where you're going wrong. Then comes control. If you're not even aware, what are you controlling? You don't even know what to control. So these are the things one ought to control, these different natures. So first is likes and dislikes. The lethal combination is strong likes and dislikes and weak intellect. That's a lethal combination. So suppose a person has got strong likes and dislikes. What colloquially you would say a fussy person, a picky person, a fussy person, he's got strong likes and dislikes, and he has a weak intellect. That fellow will suffer. I know people who don't get married. Why? Because they're so particular about their likes and dislikes. Recently, I was talking to that person. I said, I thought you said you wanted to move to a new house. Haven't you moved? No, we are looking. I said, how long are you going to look? I said, by this weekend, you send me the choices. I gave him an ultimatum, He said, okay, fine, I'll send it. He promptly sent it. By weekend, he sent. I said, you send me choices by this weekend. Otherwise, I know he'll keep on delaying. Send it. He sent it. So it's like that. So you procrastinate. You don't fix anything. You're so particular. Because the intellect is weak. So the way your intellect should operate is this: I want to take a decision by this time. Whatever best I can, I decide. That's it. So it's better to be decisive and make mistakes rather than be indecisive. You will never achieve anything if you're indecisive. You want it to be perfect, so you're indecisive. No, I'll wait. No, this is not the final. You'll never achieve anything. So it doesn't matter you make mistakes. It may not be the perfect thing. Just decide. Just go for it. In the time frame, whatever the time frame you have decided, your intellect has decided. So likes and dislikes have no reason backing it. So you're just, the mind says I like this, the mind says I don't like it. There's no reason behind it. For example, you say I love red color. Another person says, oh no, I love green, or I love blue. There's no reason behind it. Your mind just likes it. You like a particular type of food, a certain sport. So the mind has this tendency to pick on certain things. The problem is, if you don't think whether it is right for me, you mechanically act on likes and dislikes. So listen carefully. There's nothing wrong with likes and dislikes, provided the likes and dislikes are governed by the intellect. So there's nothing wrong inherently with likes and dislikes. So Vedanta is not saying, oh, get rid of likes and dislikes. No. In fact, likes and dislikes is what makes you unique. It makes you different from others. So you don't have to throw away your likes and dislikes. You don't have to suppress your likes and dislikes, but your intellect has to control it, has to manage it. Even at work, let's say you choose a job because you like to do the job. But in that job which you like to do, there may be several things you may not like to do. A person who is a salesperson, who is interested in selling, he chooses a job as a salesperson, but he has to file his report. He doesn't like filing report. A policeman on duty, he has to write report. He may not like writing a report, but he likes going and policing outside. So in your chosen field, you may like the field, but there may be certain areas within that field which you may not like. So the question is, how do you handle those areas of dislike? So even in relationship, you choose a partner, you like that partner, but the partner may have certain qualities which you may not like. So what do you do then? Oh, no, I don't like. You change the partner. Then what will happen? It's interesting. If you look for 10 qualities in a person, just as an example, 10 qualities you look for in a person, you find a person who's got 6 qualities. You say, okay, let me go for this person with 6 qualities. Then you realize, oh my God, that fellow doesn't have 4. Other person has got 4. You go for that 4, you lose the 6. So you'll never get the 10 with anyone. You always have to manage those things which you don't like. So how effectively you manage dislikes will show your success in life. What you don't like, you should be able to manage. So there are 2 fundamental problems with likes and dislikes. The first problem with likes and dislikes is you're ignorant of the law of pleasure. The law of pleasure is that any contact reduces the enjoyment. So if something gives you pleasure, if you keep on contacting it over and over again, the pleasure reduces. It's a natural law. Second is, the nature of the world is that it is changing all the time. So because of these 2 reasons, you struggle with your likes and dislikes. So the first reason is the law of pleasure. This is given in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verses 37 and 38. Two verses in the 18th chapter. The 37th verse defines what is true happiness. 38th verse defines what is false happiness. So what is false happiness, which is what is relevant to us here? He says, happiness arising from contact of sense organ with the object. So the happiness arising from contact of sense organ, meaning your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. These sense organs are contacting the world. When it contacts, there's a pleasure you get out of it. The happiness that is arising from the contact of sense organ with the object, which is nectarine in the beginning, but later ends like poison. In the beginning is like amrita. Amrita means nectar. In the end, like visham, poison. Something which is pleasurable in the beginning, and you contact it, it ends up as something unpleasant. That's why he uses the word poison, meaning you detest it. Same person, you say, I love that person, you get married. After 15 years, you file for divorce. Same person you hate. You don't want to see that person one more day. It's like nectar in the beginning, poison in the end. Because of wrong contact with the person, wrong contact with the object. See, the best things in life are like that. Healthy eating is unpleasant in the beginning. You look at the healthy food, only you want to run a mile. Salads and broccoli and all these things. So, unhealthy food is so pleasurable in the beginning. Later, it becomes detrimental for you. So, what is pleasurable becomes unpleasant later. What is unpleasant becomes pleasurable later. Exercises are unpleasant, painful in the beginning, pleasurable later. Waking up in the sattvic time in the morning, unpleasant in the beginning, pleasurable later. But since the mind wants instant pleasure, you grab instant pleasure and suffer later. Instant pleasure produces enduring pain. So, we need guidance because the law of life is like that. The way life is designed is what is good for you is not pleasurable in the beginning. Now, don't ask me why. That's the way the world has been designed. See, study Vedanta is not pleasurable in the beginning, but once you get used to it, there's so much of enjoyment you get. So the intellect has to maintain control over these likes and dislikes. So we'll see that further on in the next class. We'll continue with these natures of the mind. And once you understand these natures, then you know exactly what you need to be controlling. Okay. Any announcement, Vijay?
Yes, Bhaskarji.
Please.
Hello, everyone. We would like to share a promotional video for our forthcoming 11th annual Wisdom Retreat that has been shared on social media and YouTube this week. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm sure you would all been seeing the email and WhatsApp community message about the upcoming annual weekend retreat. As we had indicated, 25 people have already been booked and spaces are filling fast. This year, we are returning to the same venue as last year. They were Wakefield Estate in Reading, Berkshire, where historic charm blend with modern style. The bedrooms are ensuite and comfortable. All meals are provided as a part of package. They are vegetarian and vegan. The highlight of retreat will be the inspirational lecture and question answer session by Bhaskarji on this year's topic of technique of Karma Yoga. The structure of schedule also include guided yoga session, morning prayer, and study, group discussion, devotional singing, movie discussion, and much more. This is an ideal opportunity for class members to personally meet and interact with Bhaskarji. You will also be able to meet the team member who voluntarily give them time and initiative to organize this event. You may want to book soon to avoid disappointment. Click on the link to book your places. Thank you.
Pranam, Bhaskarji.
Pranam. Okay. Hari Om, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaskar.
Bhaskarji, thank you.
Thank you very much,